Hey, everybody, welcome to Wednesday night OWCP chats with Chris and Gini.
With tonight's very special guest, we have got for you a real treat tonight. Our very good friend, Rich Ray from the NALC in Brooklyn, Staten Island. And we're going to have him tonight because we're hearing all week long, every day for the last couple of weeks, few weeks actually, what is going on inside the post office. Are we shutting it down? Are we all losing our jobs? And then, we're hearing the fear of if I report an injury, what's going to happen? Are they going to fire me? They want to fire me for reporting an injury. And so Rich is going to come on and talk to you about that tonight. This is not going to be your typical OWCP chat session where I'm teaching about OWCP.
Right.
Instead, because we're so fortunate to have Rich with us, we want to handle, the elephant in the room. What is going on inside the post office and with our government? And is there a need for fear? I've been saying this the last 2 weeks. I'm going to say it again today before we get started. If you believe, and this is to everyone, not just in the Postal Service, but to all federal employees, if you believe you're somebody who may be removed from your position and you have an existing work injury that's legitimate, I'm not suggesting that you do anything like, make up a fake injury. Don't ever do that. You can actually go to jail for that. But if you have one and you've been just kind of holding off and waiting, you ought to know that if you happen to be separated from your employment and you haven't reported your injury yet, you won't have an opportunity to do so. And now that means you won't have access to lifetime medical benefits. And how are you going to get better so that you can go and do your next job at 100%?
Correct.
So if you need to report an injury, now is the time, and it always is the time. The soonest possible time to do anything is now, and that goes especially for reporting work injuries. Again, I cannot stress enough, I'm not saying to you to just go report an injury because, let's get over on the employer. That's not what I'm saying. I am saying if you have a real injury, you need to report it, because if you wait till after you don't work there anymore, you won't be able to. With that said, I hope everyone is safe from this, and I pray that nobody actually loses their jobs, but we're not in control of that. All we can do is give you the best advice possible in the event that it does.
Yeah.
With that said, everyone give a warm welcome to our great friend, Rich Ray.
Yes.
Rich.
Hey.
I wish I had a button, an applause button, or just an audience. It's so great to have you tonight, Rich. Thank you.
Thanks for having me, guys. Thank you. I miss you guys, man. This is awesome. This is like my third time on here, I think.
That's right. Hey, you're a frequent flyer at Wednesday Night Chat.
So, Rich, before you get started, tell everybody who you are, where you're located, and what are you going to talk about tonight?
All right. My name is Richie Ray. I am the second vice president of Branch 41 Merge, Brooklyn and Staten Island letter carriers. I was originally Branch 99, Staten Island letter carriers president, but we merged with Brooklyn, and it was a historic event. We're going to talk tonight about this nonsense that we're all hearing about being privatized and losing our jobs with the Postal Service. So I'm going to try to ease the minds of all postal workers, and Chris and Gini asked me to come on, and when they ask me, I never say no. They are the best group of people in the world. So here I am.
Aww.
Well, we love you, Rich. Thank you. Before we get rolling on this, let's give a shout out to Frank from Branch 41. He's on and says, "Hey, Rich."
What's up?
Yolanda
What's up?
saying hi, Rich. Tonight's
Yolanda. What's up, Yolanda? Thanks for being here. So, Rich, you were saying that you had something that prepared you wanted to read from. I'm anxious. I'm chomping at the bit.
Yeah, I'll get started. Yeah, I'll get started with it.
Let's do that, and then we'll talk and answer some questions and see where this goes.
All right. Can the United States president sign an executive order to privatize the Postal Service? The answer to this is no, a capital no. Is there a problem with the Postal Service? Yes. Is there a problem with the craft employees? No. This is what I know. I wish I had it in front of me, but the Step P carrier makes right now $75,299 a year. This is top pay, straight pay. If you are a carrier technician, you make $76,880. This is the same for pay table 1 and 2. Let's not discuss the tables. The city letter carriers know what I'm talking about. Here is my point. Just for as a letter carrier, if I were not a full-time officer, I would cost the Postal Service an average of $330,000 a year. In other words, if I'm a full-time employee, my full-time salary, my medical benefits, my annual leave, my sick leave, my drift savings, and my pension will cost the Postal Service $330,000 a year. I believe it's more, but that's what I know for a fact. But I do not have that paper in front of me. This is how much the top employee costs the Postal Service yearly. This is regarding benefits, annual leave, and sick leave. I know I already said that. This is not counting rural carriers, APWU, mail handlers, box truck drivers, et cetera, et cetera. Federal government is responsible to deliver America mail. It is not a private company. The Postal Service is like a dirt rail. People, it's not that simple to sell us off or take us over. It's not that simple. It's not even that possible. But remember something. Anything is possible. Okay, don't take nothing lightly, but we got to realize the Postal Service is a dirt rail. Okay, it takes a lot to do it. Now, when I say anything is possible, I'm going to give you an example. On September 10, 2001, I would argue with you to the end of my livelihood that 9/11 could have never happened. Okay? No way planes could get taken the way they were taken, flown into our buildings, flown into Washington. I would tell you that could never happen. So anything is possible. Okay? But I'm letting you know it's not that simple. Here is what we need to do the day in action. When you hear the press saying that the post office is going to go private, call your congresswoman, your congressman, your senators. Let them know the postal service is important. Have your family members call. Have your friends call. Okay, there's 655,000 postal employees. 655,000 postal employees plus 1, plus 2, plus 3. You get it. It's a lot of votes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, here's something we need to know about the Postal Service. No one knows the number that costs the Postal Service yearly in their violations of contract violations, grievances. No one knows how much it costs the Postal Service every year just in grievance activity, meaning monetary awards, how much money it costs all the shop stewards to file the grievances, how much money it costs the post office to give us the paperwork, the ink, the paper, pay adjustments, etc., etc. But this is what I do know. This is as of 2023, and this is a fact. Google it. You can look it up. It's public record. 11,422 supervisors, top executives in the United States Postal Service makes $100,000 per year straight time. The top 11 makes more than $300,000 a year in straight time. 88 of them make $222,000 plus a year. Now, if a craft employee that makes $75,299 per year costs $350,000 plus a year, what would you think an EAS employee making $100,000 a year, or $200,000 a year, or even $300,000 per year? And we pay these people to violate the contract and torture our craft employees. They do not respect us. They do not care about us. Let's not even get into the OWCP part of this, because OWCP costs the Postal Service a fortune because they don't do the right thing from day one. Here is the point.
Yeah.
We are not going anywhere, but I believe our ES employees, meaning supervisors, your days are numbered. We caught on to you. I believe the reform is in leadership on both sides. That includes the union and that includes the Postal Service. Rural carriers need to discuss a possible merge with the city carriers and be one. All letter carriers should be one union, rural carriers or city carriers. But that's an argument for another day. But something to think about, rural carriers. We need it more now than ever before. And we need reform within our own NEOC. The issues are real. They are sad. They are seriously wrong. My heart is broken for seeing what I'm seeing today with all this division and this nonsense that we hear in the news. Since 2000, the post office is going private. I remember my first day on the job, and I heard I read a news article that said the postal service is going to go private. We had this carrier that we called Grandpa, and I'll never forget the man. His name was Tony. Great guy. Know what he said to me? Son, they've been talking about privatizing us since 1974. Don't worry about it. And here we are in 2025, and they're still
Wow.
talking about it. Okay? We should not stress what we hear in the press. And please understand how convenient this news about the Postal Service is being private when our national president was called out from the no vote of the TA. Interesting, right? Well, I make you make that decision. Now, this is not 100% facts. This is my opinion. And I'm very sure someone else can explain this better than me. But this is my truth right now. Focus on each other. This is all I need to say. Bottom line is, brothers and sisters, if the post office is going to go private, it's going to take 10 years to do. Okay, so let's be real now. All right, we're not going anywhere. I don't see any private company buying us or taking us over. People love their money. They're not going to want to throw it away. The Postal Service is a service. It's not a company. It's not for profit. So listen, don't take nothing lightly, but please don't lose sleep over it. All right. It's time for us to stand as one. Okay. Letter carriers need to look out for each other, and we need to stop being scared of every little thing. Okay. If they bring the fight to us, we will fight back. I've been fighting since 2000, and I'm still here 25 years later.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's what I have to say in my write up there, Chris. I hope I didn't screw that
Rich.
up, but you know.
No, that was amazing.
That was great.
Your message is, look, they've been talking about this since at least 1974, and it's never been done. And even if it were to be done, it would take at least 10 years to happen. This is bigger than the Titanic. You know, it doesn't just make a U-turn.
It probably would even take look, the president of the United States of America cannot sign the executive order to make us private. It's going to take Congress to do that. Okay. And I don't think he's going to get that support. Now, just ease everyone's minds. You know, stop with the press. That's all it is. Stop with the press. Okay. Post office has got problems. All right. We're losing a lot of money every year. And you know what? We want to see the books. I got no problem with that because I want to know where all the money is going. All right. It's a lot of wasted money getting thrown away. I'll give you an example. One of my stations in Staten Island. Okay. 45 carriers, maybe 8 clerks. Okay. We got 6 supervisors and a station manager. Why? Why? How hard is it? The computer tells them everything anyway. Why we need all these people? They're there to torment us. They're there to push us. Listen, the union is responsible to protect us on the workroom floor, and National is responsible to deal with the politics part. And I'm telling you all, please breathe. Go outside, breathe air. It's beautiful out in New York. Go enjoy it. Get that air in your lungs. Breathe in and breathe out. Just chill out. Okay, you get hurt. Don't be afraid to put in a claim, please. Don't be afraid. You don't put in a claim, you're going to become a nightmare. It's going to become a nightmare. All right. So, you know, just stop acting like a hero. You're not going to walk it off. I'm telling you, I've been a union rep for 24 years. Everybody thought they were going to walk it off. It wind up being a long-term situation. So it doesn't pay to ignore your pain. Yeah.
So, Rich, you brought up, the work comp part of this, and you and other people that know us know that we do this, and we're not only concerned with work comp. I mean, you guys are our friends. We've been friends for a long time.
Yes.
And so we don't want to see this, the bad things happen to you. But I'm hearing you saying to everyone, stop worrying about it. Well, what we're also hearing, and you probably heard me in the intro, is that we're hearing all over the place, especially in the post office, that people are being threatened with their jobs because of their work injuries. Well, hey, there's going to be this big reduction in force anyways. You don't want to be first. If you report that injury, you're going to be first. You're out of here. And there's so many laws that are against that. OSHA is against that. You can't fire somebody for having a disability status, number one, and that's a temporary disability status. You can't retaliate against someone for exercising their rights under the law. And one of those rights, according to OSHA, is to report a work injury. You can't retaliate and termination or threat of termination.
Right.
Sure sounds like retaliation, right? Reprisal. And that's a crime according to the U.S. Code and the Code of Federal Regulations. And I'm always saying that because that's against the law, and because you all have such strong unions, what can your unions do to help? And now I'm speaking to you, and I know how strong you are, and your union is now even bigger. You guys merged, so you get this pretty large union, right? If someone came to you and said, I got this injury, but I'm scared I'm going to be fired, and my supervisor said, whatever, I'm scared, what are you going to do about it, Rich?
Well, I'm going to tell you something. Okay, if any of my supervisors in Staten Island and Brooklyn even have the balls to say something like that to one of my carriers, they're going to have a major problem. Okay, and they're going to have a major, major problem. There's a federal law that's called the No Fear Act. And the No Fear Act was put in place so it protects whistleblowers. It gives you the right to stand up for your contract rights and stand up for all the benefits that you have on a job that you were hired to do. That's what the No Fear Act is for, okay? And when you get threatened because you're going to put in a CA1 for an injury or a CA2 or just to report anything, I want to file grievance for a forced overtime situation. They threaten you because you're being a whistleblower. They're in a serious situation here. We got EEO, we got the grievance process, we got OSHA, and we got me, we got John Cruz. We got all the union reps in Brooklyn and Staten Island. Listen, we're not afraid to file grievance. And, I get it. Grievances sometimes a pain in the ass. No one wants to come to work and, fight and fight and fight. I just want to come to work and go home. I get it. You know what? I want to come to work and go home too. You know what I want to do? I want to worry about blood drive. I want to worry about MDA. I want to worry about food drive. I want to worry about all the fun stuff. I don't want to sit here and deal with all the sad stuff. But the fight comes to our doorstep, okay? I don't go to their doorstep. They come to my doorstep. And then what am I going to do? I'm going to open up the door and let them come in, or I'm going to sit there and fight for my house. I'm going to fight for my house, okay? Now, do not be afraid.
Yeah.
Listen, this nonsense about getting fired for an injury, I believe that's a violation of federal law. And you got OSHA that you can file a complaint to. There's you know what? I should have had the number on top of my head, but I could send it to you, Chris, and you could do it next week. There's a whistleblower hotline you could call. You could call the OIG. Not that they're going to do anything anyway, but they still got to put it on paper that you called and it was a complaint. We got the grievance process. You got EEO. You got the NLRB. You got so many avenues that you could go to. I'm not saying everything's a success. There's a lot of failures, and there's bad stewards. I get that. There's bad branches. I get that. There's bad MBAs. There's bad this. There's bad that. There's bad that. But if you're gonna lay down because you don't think you got faith, then you know what's gonna happen. They're gonna walk all over you. All right. And as far as I'm concerned, I'll give you one thing. Paul Alexander, my former president, before I became president, said to me, every time you file a grievance, you already lost. You file a grievance, you already lost because they're violating the contract. So what you got to lose to file that grievance? You lose, you already lost. So all you got to gain is to win. So don't be afraid of filing a grievance. You're already lost if you have to file the grievance because they're not supposed to be doing it. And brothers and sisters, we lose grievances because you don't give statements. Could you imagine if I had a grievance with 85 statements in it? What are they going to say? 85 people are lying? Or it's a he said, she said. It's the manager's
Wow.
answer and my answer. Or I have 85 people backing me up. Imagine that. The power is you, the letter carrier, the union worker. The union is you. It's not I. It's you.
Yeah. Okay. So what you just said is all the things you can do. And I love that. You know, most people are like, you just can't do that. You can't do that. But you just gave us a list of things you can do. You can file a grievance. You can file an EEO. You can file labor charges. You can contact OIG. You can contact OSHA. I mean, that's 5 things you can do. And yeah, maybe, like you said, calling OIG may not work. But what if OIG gets 500 calls
Right.
about the same thing? Well, they're probably going to pay attention to that. They're going to say, wow, 500 times someone said they were threatened with their job because of a work injury.
Right.
That's interesting. Maybe we should look at it.
Right.
And I always say that, Rich, when I'm doing my live classes, I always tell people, in my opinion, the reason I think supervisors push you around is because you don't push back.
Right.
And I'm always in a room full of stewards when I say those words, Rich, right?
Right.
So who's most capable of pushing back?
Right.
Then a room full of stewards who, if they choose to, can have tons of power.
Right.
And if the members would go to their representatives and say, I need help, that's a good start.
It's a great
But
start.
if you just rub some dirt on it, you put your head in the sand, you hope nobody sees it. Well, I think that's a bad solution.
Well, you know what? My brother Paul Cobb said to me once, this was a long time ago. He said to me, what is more scarier to management? What's more scarier to management than the greatest shop steward in the whole installation? I go, what? 5 carriers that don't need them. Okay. Could you imagine?
That's a good one.
Look, what good is it to have a great shop steward? What good is it to have a Richie Ray on the workroom floor when Richie Ray is representing 55 people that don't even know what their rights are, and they're getting walked all over, and they're fighting against Richie because they don't even know what the rules are. Okay, you know how scary it is for a shop steward to fight management and his own people or her own people. Okay, that's a lonely place to be. Okay, it's up to the carrier to be knowledgeable. All right, you need to be knowledgeable. All right, we got union meetings. You got a website that's got tons of information. You go on NELC.org. You could go to APWU.org. You could go to Mail Handler. You could even go to the TroublemakerUnion.com. There's so much information out there. It's Google. All right, go look it up. It's there. Some of it might be fake, so be careful. But the bottom line is, knowledge is power. You got that T-shirt that I bought from you. Knowledge is power. I love that T-shirt. I got 3 of them, and I wear it all the time. Matter of fact, I think I wore that shirt once 3 days in a row, and I didn't even realize I was wearing a dirty shirt. That's how much knowledge is power. If you know your rights, then what is the supervisor going to do to you? Look, brothers and sisters, let me tell you something, especially in Staten Island. You think you're going to get fired because you report something to Richie Ray? I file the grievance. I make management's life miserable. I'm fighting with management every day. I'm the one that they hate talking to. They haven't fired me yet. So what makes you think they're going to fire you? And what makes you think I'm going to allow them to fire you? I have one question for all Staten Island letter carriers. I want you to tell me how many people you know that got fired on this job. How many people got fired on this job? You guys are not going to be able to tell me that. Maybe some stations might have 1 or 2 here, maybe because the carrier did not even show up to work for 3 years. But I want you to tell me how many people got fired on this job because they told the supervisor to go F off. Okay? We got people on this job.
I guess that the number is 0.
I say 0. All right. I think since I've been chief steward in Staten Island, I'll go back as far back as 2014. I would say 4 people got fired on the job. One of them was really, maybe I'll tell you, we don't want to talk about that because that was a disaster. Okay. But 3 people got fired, and all fairness, one of them I almost saved. They were their own enemy. The other 2 didn't even show up to work. How are you going to protect someone that doesn't even show up to work or answer the phone? But how many people got
Yeah.
fired for misdelivering a package or reporting an injury? Nobody. I mean, did they attempt to? Yeah, I'm not going to say they didn't, but we blocked them. We stopped them. We filed the grievance, and we got your jobs back. Okay. Is it fair? No, it's not fair. I'm not saying life is not fair.
Mm-mm.
Okay. My grandmother used to tell me, I'm not here to be fair. I'm here to be your grandmother. Okay. Nothing's going to be fair with me.
Right.
You're going to do what I tell you to do. Okay. You don't like it, go live outside. And then you tell me how good is it out there.
Yep.
The bottom line is, people,
Yeah.
stop being afraid. Now, look, I'm not giving you the license to go spit in your supervisor's face, please. Don't misunderstand me.
Yeah. Don't do that.
Yeah,
Don't do that.
don't do that.
Yeah, you got enough problems as it
Yeah,
is.
please. Okay. What I'm just trying to tell you is you got more rights than management does. All right. Management won't let you know that. And I don't even think they even realize that. Some of the knuckleheads do, but they really don't even know what their own regulations are. And I tell you right now, our grievance handlers that we deal with in Brooklyn and Staten Island, and God bless them, they really, I got to tell you, they really are doing a great job. God bless them, because we are very fortunate here, and we're very blessed. We got a great team. There's always room for improvement. Nothing is perfect in this world. Look, I learn every day. I make mistakes too. This is why we got a team, right? It's not a Richie Ray show. It's the Branch 41 show, you know. Um, but we got some great grievance handlers, and they do a good job. And yeah, I forgot what I was going to say. But bottom line is, just remember something. You got shop stewards that actually know, and you got branch officers that actually know. Use us. Why pay your union dues if you're going to stay on mute? I don't get that. You pay your union dues to have a voice, And look,
Right.
Yeah.
I have a saying. There's no stupid question. The only stupid question you have is the question you do not ask. Okay?
Don't-
There's no
Yep.
stupid
Yep.
question, no matter how simple it is. Look, in the end of the day, if you don't know, you don't know. Okay? You got to ask to know. Don't be afraid. There's no stupid question. Okay? It's nonsense. We might laugh sometimes, Some people do come up with some interesting questions the way they ask it. We might laugh, we might enjoy it, but there's not a stupid question. Just ask the question. I love talking, as you guys could see. That's why I have a podcast. 'Cause I don't know when to shut up.
You're a great talker, Richie. And let me say just real quick. So Yolanda's on here watching, and she said to you, Richie, can you come to Greensboro and be our shop steward? Now, before you answer that, because I know you can't, but this is one thing that I know about you and your group and all the people that I've been able to meet, that are with you, is you guys are tough as nails.
Yes.
And I know it's not that way all across the country. Okay, maybe Yolanda doesn't have that experience, sadly, but you guys are tough as nails. Every person I've met, by the way, in your group that does grievances enjoys it. They love the opportunity to do grievances. And when I go teach live, I always ask, who here likes to file a grievance? And I raise my hand with you because I wish I could. And and I love it when I have everybody in the room going like this.
Yeah.
And so I can tell you, I've done my trainings all around the country. And I've never been in a room in any union, okay, especially with the post office. We do a lot of work with APW right now, right?
Right.
And I've never been in a room with people with union stewards that almost everybody doesn't raise their hand.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think the members need to get to know their stewards.
Yes.
And be comfortable going to them and say, hey, I think I have a grievance here. Can you help me? Because I've never met somebody that didn't want to.
No.
And I know that there are some out there. That's
sure
the way
there
it
is. I mean,
I've been
out
fortunate
there
enough
everywhere.
to come across those people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen,
Sure,
I gotta tell you, we tell management two things. We go, you got two choices. You can work with us or you can work against us. There's no in between. Okay. Either we're going to do this jointly and we're going to work together and we're going to recognize the issues and we're going to fix them, or we can work against each other. And you know what? We're not going to argue, because what listen, are you going to win an argument with an unreasonable person? Are you really going to win an argument?
No.
Okay. It's like telling a 4-year-old at Toys R Us, you can't buy that. You're going to really sit there and try to reason with them. Look, It is what it is. Okay, you're not getting it. Let's go. I'll drag your ass out. Bottom line is, you're not going to win an
Right.
argument with an unreasonable person. So either you're going to work with us, or we're going to deal with it in the grievance process, and we'll get our answers that way. And we'll enforce the contract by the grievance process and language and et cetera, et cetera. Now, we're not dealing with nice people. We're not. All right. There's some good postal managers out there, supervisors out there. I know quite a few of them, and they all tell me the same thing. Rich, I really wish I could do this, but they won't let me. And you know what? I don't feel bad for them, because if you're not going to stand up for what you believe is right, and you're going to do something wrong because somebody told you that you can't do that, then you're not a manager to me. You're a puppet. All right. A manager is
Yep.
supposed to control their own facility. That's what it says in the elm and in the contract. Okay. That's what it says. The manager is the front line person that makes the decision in their own post office, their own facility. So if someone upstairs is telling them to do something and they're doing it, I got no compassion for that. I'm sorry. You're just as guilty
Yep.
as the person that's telling you. You're the one doing it, not me.
Yeah.
I gotta do what I gotta do. Look,
Exactly.
I love filing grievances, but I have no problem not filing grievances. I have no problem doing the right thing here for my membership. If we can meet the middle and have a local agreement that's going to be enforced, I'll be happier to do that. Okay, our contract gets followed.
Sure.
I'll be jumping up and down in glory, and I love it. The bottom line is, we fight because they bring it to us. All right, we don't lay down. And I'm going to tell you something, guys. All right, I'm going to tell you one of the reasons why I fight so hard. When I first started this job, I was a PTF, I was a career employee. I made 90 days. I passed my probation. You know, on day 93, they gave me a notice removal because I said no to a supervisor. All right. And I said to myself, and I asked the shop steward at the time, why would they pass me on probation only to try to fire me? I don't understand this. And the shop steward says, well, this is what they do. They hire you to fire you. I go, it don't make sense. And I gave this statement, and the shop steward said, oh man, I really like this statement. You want to get involved with the union? I got involved with the union, 6 months in on the job. And I realized something. These people don't respect us. They just don't respect. We're numbers. We're nobodies to them. Okay, you're only good to them what you're doing for them today, not what you did for them yesterday. Okay, so if you think you're a hero and you're going to save the postal service, I got news for you. They're going to throw you away the moment you fall, the moment you break your nose, the moment you break your ankle, the moment you do something to your shoulder, or you wind up getting sick, or God forbid someone in the family passes away and you can't come to work. Post office is not going to show you compassion. The bottom line, what I'm trying to say is, if you got a shop steward that's not fighting for you, then maybe you need to say to yourself, maybe it's time for me to step up. Maybe it's time for me to vote this person out. Because I got to tell you something. We need people that's going to love the letter carrier. Brooklyn and Staten Island fights for letter carriers because we love our letter carrier. And we don't get the love back, but we love our letter carrier. Our letter carrier comes first. Okay, I don't do this for me. I do this because I love the letter carrier, and an injury to one is an injury to all. And I started this job because the way they treated injured employees, and honestly, let me tell you something. It wasn't just management that mistreated injured employees. It was our own people too. You know, could you imagine getting hurt and you're getting picked on from your own coworkers and then management? It's scary. I saw that.
Terrible.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
And it hurt me. It bothered me. And Chris, when we met, I think the first time we talked, I had a letter carrier that was sleeping in the car, right? She went homeless. And that's how it all started with me.
Yeah, that's right.
And I'll never forget the promise. He says, I'm going to get you a doctor. And you did. Yeah. I really thought you were bullshitting me. I'm not going to lie to you. I really thought you were bullshitting. and you made it. And it happened.
No, sir.
It happened. And I got to tell you, No one deserves to be punished for doing a job and a mistake happens. That's why we call them accidents and injuries. Okay. You deserve to be represented, protected, and you are. You are. But knowledge is power. And if you don't got a good chops to it, or at least you don't think you got a good chops to it, talk to them. Have a conversation with them. Okay. Let them know what's going on. Because you know what? If I don't know, I don't know. All right. I deal with over
Yeah.
2,800 letter carriers. So you think I really know what's going on everywhere? It's no way. If you don't tell me what's happening, then I don't know what's happening. Okay. And nothing is perfect.
Yeah.
Nothing is perfect. I don't like the system that the football field belongs to the Postal Service. We're on their field and it's their game, it's their company, and they're going to do what they want to do. And we have a contract that they need to follow. And if they don't do it, we're going to hold them accountable and we're going to enforce that. But we got to do it with you. You got to help us. You got to be that. You got to be our witnesses. You got to be our eyes, our ears. You got to be our statements. And my brother Orlando Gonzalez from Region 15, he says, stop reacting, start responding. Stop reacting. Don't take the bait. Don't take the bait. Respond. And so I will take I don't take that advice myself. Sometimes I take the bait too. So nothing is perfect. But, the bottom line is we need you more than you need us. All right. Without you, there's no me. All right. You think management's afraid of 5'4" Richie Ray, this little guy that walks around that probably can't even see over the wheel of the car? They're not afraid of me. All right. They're afraid of the people who are next to me. Okay. They see an army. They know Richie Ray's got backup. Okay. It's the Jeremys. It's the John Cruz. Let me tell you something. All I have to say is John Cruz's name. Management don't even want to deal with it. And sometimes you say my name, they don't even want to deal with it. It all depends the situation. The bottom line is we got an army and we got great people in our union that, Chris, I'm very blessed. I'm humbled to be part of this. I got great people.
Yeah.
Lie. But the letter carrier starts with you. I'm sorry, but it does. It starts with you. And your workroom floor is dismantled. It's being disrespected. It's up to you to stand up to it. It really is.
Well, I love the message tonight. For those of you that jumped on late, you can go back and watch the replay. And Richie, this will also be edited a little bit, and it'll be broadcast on our podcast.
Oh, that's cool.
Starting probably tomorrow, the next day, and it'll live there forever too. So people will be able to listen to it when they're driving their route or whatever, if they want to, and they'll be able to hear you again. But I think it's very inspiring because what you've told people is don't fear this thing. We're not going to be privatized. It'll take a decade if it was going to. Who wants to buy you anyways? Because it's so expensive, and it's a service. It's not, this isn't a product. It's a service. And it takes Congress, not the president. And everyone knows Congress can't agree on anything anyways. And even if they could, they don't want to piss off all their constituents. And there's a lot of you, 650,000 of you and all your friends and family. I mean, that's a big number. That's a lot of people. That's 2 million people. Easy 2 million people. And lots of times that's a margin of victory.
Even more.
Yeah. So talk to your congressperson. You said that too. And everyone, I don't know if people know this. I do it a lot. I'll go to my congressperson. We're in Florida. I'll go to the representatives and to the senators that represent me, and I'll give them a message saying, this is what I think about a certain bill. Right. If I hear something's going on, and I've already been out there saying, do not privatize the post office because that's my voice. I want to give it. And everyone can do that too. But I'm with you, Rich. I don't believe that is something that's going to happen. It's been talked about since 74 or before, like you said. So everyone can probably ease up on that a little bit and just relax, woosah, right? And just get back to work and do your job well, but get involved with your union too, because there's so much power there. The power in numbers, that's the reason for being in a union. That's the reason for organizing in the first place, so that it's not one person, it's a whole group of people talking at once. That was, I think really inspiring. And the other thing I just want to say, just to bring it back to work comp again, just for a second, because that's what we do for a living, is don't Don't fear it either. Your health is so important. I say this all the time, Richie, and I know you agree. If someone gets hurt, the supervisor's sleeping really good at night. They sleep really good. It's no problem.
They don't care.
And so don't rub some dirt on it. I go to these classes and in the unions, and I'm talking. I say, I think you're in the rub some dirt on it crowd. I look at these tough, hard men. You're like, you're in the rub some dirt on it crowd. Don't do that. You've got to. These are your rights. How many of your rights as a federal employee do you want to just willingly give up?
Yeah.
Zero. Why would you give them up? They're your rights. You have rights I don't have. I'm not a federal employee. I'd love to have some of yours. And I wouldn't give them up either. And so that's the other thing. Don't fear being fired for reporting a work injury.
Yeah.
I never
because
seen
it's really not something they
reporting a work injury. I have never seen it. I have never seen it. And I dealt with this for 24 years. I'm not saying it never happened, but I never seen it. I mean, if you were drinking and you passed a red light and you crashed into a gas station, okay, yeah, you're probably going to get fired.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to get arrested too. I mean, but look, what kills me, Chris, is I got carriers telling me they're afraid, right, to do something, and then yet they're not afraid to bang up, call out sick. They're not afraid to do that. So I don't understand, or they're not afraid to say, I don't want to go back out. So I don't know if it's an excuse or look, getting hurt sucks. I'm not gonna lie. Who wants to go to the doctor and sit there and get?
No, we don't wish that on anybody.
Yeah, nobody. Who wants to do that? I'm with you. But you're hurt. What are you gonna do? You
take care of it.
Yeah, you have a brain tumor in your head. Where you're just gonna leave it there, or you're gonna go to the doctor and try to get that taken care of, or you're just going to let it grow. I mean, I just don't get it.
Yeah.
You're hurt. Worry about you. Look, you know what? This is the perfect example. All right. I'm a family man. You're a family man. Think about your family. Think about what's going to happen when you don't make that paycheck, if you don't protect yourself from an injury. Think about it. I've seen families get ruined from this. It breaks my heart.
Yes, of course. Like you said, the first time we ever met, Chris, I'm tired of seeing my carriers go homeless.
Yeah.
It's not just the carrier, it's the family that's affected by that as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I always have a message to supervisors too. And everyone that knows me knows that I am very abusive to supervisors. Very. Whatever. There's no love lost between them and me. And what they don't understand, because I think many of them, I don't want to blanket this, many of them are idiots, is that when you impede a work injury claim, you're prolonging the situation that you hate so much.
Right.
If you will actually encourage people to report their injury, go to the doctor and get better, they'll be back faster and you won't have the headache anymore as supervisor. But instead, they just put one roadblock after another, and this thing that could have been over in 60 days is lasting 6 months.
Could even be over even sooner. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean,
of course,
I don't understand. Look, I cannot explain stupidity. I just can't. I mean, it just doesn't even make sense. No. And a lot of this is no common sense. And unfortunately, I just don't got an answer for it. I wished I did.
Yeah, I hear you.
I wished I had that magic wand and be like, what's the answer? That way I could fix it. But I just can't give you an answer for stupidity. The bottom line is, you got rights, all right? You got rights, you got laws, you got contracts, you got benefits. Use them. I stop worrying about, is management going to do a cartwheel? You got injured? Probably not. But why are you giving a shit? Why you care? When a supervisor talks to me in a nasty way, and you know what I say? I say, tone it down. Tone it down, or we're going to stop this conversation right now. And he would get nasty with me, and I'll hang up the phone, and I will call back again. I'm like, all right, so we're going to try this again? Oh, yeah. All right, I hang up again, and I call back again. I'll go, we're going to try this again. All right, he goes, Richie, what do you want? Well, I'm not making 5 o'clock. What do you want me to do? Continue, okay, and hang up. Listen, play there. Look, you are an adult, okay? I'm going to explain something to you. If you're in the schoolyard with your kids, they're playing at the park, and someone goes and starts talking to you in a nasty way, or talking to your wife in a nasty way, or talking to your kids in a nasty way, you ain't going to tolerate that. Why are you going to tolerate that
No
at work?
way.
Why? Why? Why you tolerate that?
Yeah.
Not get do not be disrespected. You are an adult, you are a union worker, or even if you're not in the union, you're still in a union job. Okay? And get in the union. Get your voice in there. Enough with this shit about not paying your dues. Get in there. All right. But bottom line is, I still love
Yeah.
you. Remember that. All right. And get involved. And for all the city letter carriers out there, get on to concernedlettercarriers.com and check out the concerned letter carriers because help is coming in 2026. All right. I just have to throw that out there, Chris. I had to take that opportunity.
I like that. What is concern? I'm going to say it again. Concernedlettercarriers.com. What is that, Rich?
Well, CLC is running in 2026. James Henry, our brother, is going to be running for national president. Okay, and we got a whole bunch of people on that slate, and I'm one of them. I'm running for Region 15, and
All right.
change is coming for NELC. Good people are going to be put in place to protect the letter carrier and to go out there and school our membership out there. Because in the end of the day, right now, I think knowledge is lacking, and I blame that on the union because it's the union's responsibility to train everybody and get the knowledge out there. And you know what? I got to be honest with you. It's time for change for everybody. It really is. We need to stop with the good old boy club. It's got to stop. The regular stuff has got to stop. And Chris and Gini, what you guys are doing for my injured letter carriers all over the country, it's a blessing. I cannot look for personal experience. Personal experience. Chris and Gini has helped me with I can't even give you a number of how many people they helped. Never, never, never a penny has ever been taken from my people. Not one penny.
Never will.
Even if you get disapproved, approved, not one penny comes out of their pocket. Okay. I'm telling you, I'm speaking by experience. All right. I'm just telling you, when you met me, Chris, it was a nightmare in New York. It was a nightmare. We had no doctors, right?
Yeah.
You saw how many cases do you look at and you're like, holy shit. I don't know what and you even
Right.
said, well, I gotta get you a doctor. This is crazy. It was horrible. And I told Chris, and I remember exactly what I told him. I told him I'm tired of seeing my people going homeless, but I felt hopeless because I knew I was a good union representative, but I'm not a doctor. Okay, I can't write a narrative,
Right.
a medical narrative. I wouldn't even know where to start. I could file a good grievance, but what good is a grievance when you need a good doctor for the DOL? So, Chris and Gini, I don't know how to ever thank you because you don't realize like the what you brought to us in New York. We never thought this was ever going to happen, and the people who were around me for a very long time will tell you that was what my biggest fear was finding OWCP doctors. It was a really, really scary. It was scary, and I guess everything happens for a reason, and COVID for me happened for a reason because I was able to find you. If it wasn't for COVID, I don't think we would ever been on Facebook the way we were. And Gini, if you weren't so beautiful, I would have never found Chris. So thank you for being so beautiful. Because that's what caught my eye. Not really
That's a fact.
OWCP. Sorry.
You and everybody else, Richie.
But
So, Rich, I just have two things.
good.
Can you hear me
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
I have two things. So Yolanda says, can someone sign up to be a shop steward and go to a training class outside of their facility to get proper training?
Well, I tell you what, Branch 41 always allows anyone to come to our trainings. It's open door for everybody. Even our general meetings are on Zoom. We let anyone come in. We are all about training. I don't know about other branches, what they do. I can't speak for them. But for the branches that I'm associated with, have no problem helping anyone. We're not about a branch. We're about the NELC. Okay, and I had people from other places that send me stuff, and I do the best that I can, and I try to give the best advice I can. I can't do it for you, but I could give you guidance. But I only could speak for my branch. My branch would open arms. You're always welcome. You could call us anytime. We have a website, branch41.org. Our number is there. You could contact us, email us. We got no problem helping people. But, remember something, our branch members come first, you know, but
Sure.
NELC members always look. You're a letter carrier, a rule carrier, a clerk. If I could help you, I'll help you. If I can, I can. But I'm definitely going to be a shoulder. I'll find you the help. There's help out there. You got Corey
Sure.
Walton. I have a podcast, Hot House with Richie Ray. Check it out. I got a lot of good people.
Wait, say that again. What's your podcast called
Hot
again?
House with Richie Ray. Hot House with Richie
Okay.
Ray.
Everyone go check it out.
Huh?
Check it out. Everywhere you listen to podcasts, you're going to find this podcast.
Yeah. And just
Good.
a fair warning, I like to talk. So, but I got some cool episodes with other branch presidents. There's a lot of people out there that love you guys, okay, and are willing with open arms to help you. But please remember something. Sometimes people just don't give their shop steward a chance. I beg you to go talk to them one-on-one and give them the opportunity to help you and allow them to fail. Okay? Don't just assume. All right? Just give them a chance, because I know I get complaints a lot about my shop stewards. And then when we go there, our shop steward, I didn't know that. I really didn't know that. No one told me. And they have, just give them a chance, please. Don't be unreasonable. Give them the chance to fail. They fail, then move the hell on. And if you really need to change your shop steward, then listen, step up. Be part of the problem, not part of this.
Yeah.
Be part of the solution, not a problem. So, we need good people out there, peeps. Put your letter carriers first. Love your people. And, all I can tell you is, if you hate to lose, that's where you start. I hate to lose. All right. Love your people first. Hate to lose, and everything else will fall in place.
Well, we hate to lose too. Let me ask you something. Since you and I met, and I did find you some doctors, you've got a few places, not enough, but we're just getting started.
I got to tell you,
what's the difference?
You did good job, brother. We got a lot of doctors here. We got what?
Well, what's the difference now? You were losing left and right before. What's happening now?
Holy shit! All right, so I'm gonna tell you something right now. I think maybe I think we're at no doubt. I mean, this is serious. We're at 99%, and the 1% that we are in appeals for is because the letter carriers are not looking at the e-comp and answering the questions. They wind up getting stuck with that or missing the debt. Now, I'm not saying, look, again, nothing is perfect in this world. Okay, there is we got things like dog bites are a pain in the ass, mental issues are a pain in the ass. But I got to be honest with you. What happens now is we have a full-time OWCP rep in Branch 41, Serena, and she does an amazing job.
She's great.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, and I gotta tell you, I don't have to deal with OWCP, and only when she's off, I wind up doing it. But Serena, and I gotta tell you, she's the hardest working full-time officer in that office. The phone rings all day, and I say 80% of it is asking for Serena. So I don't know how she does it. She's a blessing. If anything came out of this merge, she was the best thing that came out of it. And Branch 41 is very lucky to have her as an OWCP rep. But our approval rate, Chris, I think we were lucky we had one approval Okay, and everybody else was in denial. Now we're all approval. When we get a denial, we're like, what? It's like, that can't be possible. Why, right away I'm blaming the carrier. It's no way. It's no way. So it happens. Okay, it happens. Sometimes it's just really is on OW. DOL makes a mistake. But the bottom line is, it does happen. But I got to tell you right now, I go to sleep at night. I don't even worry about anyone getting injured. The only thing I worry about is the carrier doing the right thing. That's what I worry about. Because if the carrier don't do the right thing, then
So
you respond.
All right. So two things. Two things. So one of those is, this is a perfect time for me to say www.federalinjurycenters.com.
Absolutely.
Okay, because winning does not suck. And number two, spell your podcast for us, because somebody wants me to post it. We're a little confused on the name of your podcast. Spell it out loud.
Okay, Hot House, HOTHOUSE,
House
with Richie Ray.
Okay, so go look for Hot House with Richie Ray. And Gini is posting that because there are people that want to follow you.
Awesome.
And so you're going to get a few new follows tonight, Rich.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Rich, it was a pleasure having you on. And I just wanted to end, so the people that probably had just barely came on, Rich is the second vice president between Staten Island,
Branch 41,
and Brooklyn in New York. He's been a really good friend of ours for a couple of years now, and it's going to stay that way.
Absolutely.
And he came on here to tell you not to be scared with everything going on with the federal government, not to be scared. So with that said, Rich, go ahead and let them know one more time what steps they should take not to be scared, and we'll call it a night.
Just pay attention. Knowledge is power. Be with your union. Go to the union meetings. Don't be worried to report problems. Okay, we got a contract. All right, and we got a nation that's got our back. All right, postal customers love the post office. Okay, we are there for everything. We're there for terrorist attacks. We're there for storms. We're there for every disaster out there. You name it, we're there. Okay, people need us. And the Postal Service is very, very important to the American people and to the world. Okay, we are needed. Don't worry. Please relax. Everything you don't take lightly, but I don't need everyone to panic thinking they're losing a job. I had to talk people off the ledge for the last 2 weeks. Let's just take a breath, relax, and please inform yourself. Get educated and stop worrying about the headline. Read the story, because in the story, you're going to see that the headline is not what it is. It's just a selling point, in my opinion. And, I hope that eases everybody's minds.
Yeah, and let me also say that because there's a lot of people on here going, wow, my stewards don't know enough about OWCP. How do we get more information? How do we learn more? I'll also say a shameless plug for me is I'm probably the best in the world at teaching that stuff. And so if you have a state, your union at the state level, I really don't have time to go to all the locals. Although, Richie, you call me, I'm going to be there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I don't have time to do it all over the country because I'm just one guy. But I could go to all 50 states in a year. Okay, I could do it. And so if you have a state level convention, and there's a lot of stewards in the room, I need to be in that room too, because everywhere I go, when I'm finished teaching, it's like a mic drop moment, and you see light bulbs on at the top of everyone's head. And where I go to teach, we have strong stewards when it comes to OWCP.
Yes.
Because they get the Chris Helms version of what OWCP is about. And so for those of you that are out here and you want that, your president has to invite me. Okay, it's got to be official. I don't show up to the party uninvited, but I'm happy to help anywhere.
I'm going to put you on the spot. I still believe.
Are we playing Stump the Chump? Let's go.
I still believe we should have a Chris and Gini convention. I'm just saying, you should have your own convention. I'm telling you, people will come. They will come.
You know what's interesting is a few months ago we did that. It was virtual. It was all online, and
he
you were
was
there.
on there,
You were
yeah.
there. You remember?
Yeah. But I think we should have it in person.
And we're gonna do it again.
I think we should have it in person.
Yeah. Well,
I think it's, listen, OWCP is a very, very important topic. It might be boring, but once you get to learn it, it's really not that hard. I'm not going to lie. I mean, Chris, your
right,
books
and it's
dumb
not
it
that boring
down.
either.
Your books really dumb it down. I mean, I got to tell you, I still go to your books to this day. I even know the answer. I still have to go there and confirm. You know, it's just guys, look, knowledge is power. I can't explain this to you any better than that. You're in a job that you need to know your rights, and you know the laws when you drive a car, right? You know the laws, so you should know the laws of your job and learn it. And,
Yeah.
It starts with you. It really does. And if you're, again, don't blame the shop stewards all the time, because sometimes, you need to know it too. You know what I mean? And, I'm not saying
Sure.
everybody is, I'm sure we have duds out there, but give them a chance. That's all I'm saying to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chris and
Well,
Gini,
Rich, it has been so awesome catching up with you again. Thank you.
one more thing. I love you both. I love you both. Seriously.
We
We
love you.
love you too,
Yeah,
Rich.
I
You're my
seriously love you.
favorite. You
You're
know
my
that.
favorite. I love you both. Thank you for everything you do for us.
Yeah.
Seriously.
You're
You're welcome.
It is from the heart, and people
Yes.
that don't know, because they don't know, that's not just us talking, Rich. I mean, when we're face to face, we say the same thing.
Yep.
So
I appreciate it.
yeah, for sure.
I can't wait to see you guys.
Well, Rich, yeah, we'll be
Same.
back as soon as possible. I got to get some more of that great New York pizza. Wherever Portnoy reports me, I go. So I like that good pizza. So we'll be back, and looking forward to seeing you again. For everyone that was here tonight, you've had the honor and
Yes.
pleasure of having Rich Ray tell you from the inside to just take a breath. Everything's going to be okay. So, Richie, thank you so much. Tell all of our friends up there that
Yes.
Jeannie and Chris said hello.
Will do.
And we love you,
Will do.
Rich.
Love you. Thank you so much, guys.
All right, everyone. Good night. Thanks
a
for
good
being here.
night.
We'll see you next week on Wednesday night OWCP Chats, and thank you.